So we've survived the first couple of weeks of school, and that's a big accomplishment.
It's huge.
But now we want to move more into forward thinking and forward looking and planning about how we set up our kids for success throughout the rest of the school year. So switching focus a little bit.
Yeah, we brought in an expert that's going to help us and hopefully help everyone that's listening and tuning in right now.
TV news anchors Megan Gilland and Patrice Sanders have faced major challenges in their careers as journalists. They get to work hours before the sun rises, spend their workday in front of thousands of viewers, and ask tough questions to some of the most powerful people in the community. But nothing has prepared them for their next assignment. Their little girls are going to kindergarten. In their new role, they must balance challenging careers with family duties and the new insecurities all moms face. This is TV News Moms Unfiltered.
That's goals. That's
okay.
goals. She just saw a picture on my phone and she's like, is that you? And I'm like, that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working on.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome.
So, Natalie Mangrum joining us. You are the
Hello.
CEO of Maryland Teacher Tutors. So we
Yes.
figure you know a few things about how to get us into this school year.
I
And
try
probably
to.
more importantly, as an expert, she's a mom.
Yep.
A mom of two. You've
Yeah.
been there, done that. Your
Yes.
kids are older than our kids. So
Yeah.
you've been through some
and
battles.
are going through it.
Yeah,
Currently.
for sure. Yeah, it looks different, but I'm definitely still going through the different
10th grade,
changes.
12th grade right now.
10th grade and 12th grade, yes.
Does it get better?
You know, it gets less physically exhausting, but as they
Okay.
age, it gets a little bit more mentally and emotionally exhausting.
Oh, I believe that
Yeah.
completely because you know what? I
Yeah.
think about now in our kids' ages and age range, we're worried about little things. Are they going to make friends? Are they going to? But when you get to your kids' age, you're thinking, okay, now they're driving. Okay, so are they going to
Exactly.
come home safely? Am I not going to?
Right.
That's a whole. I'm not.
And then
I'm,
add in college
I'm
and
not
who do
ready
they
for
want to
that.
be?
Sports,
and-
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I like this lane right now. I'm going to stay right
Right.
here
Stay there as long as you
in
can.
the PJ Masks, Todd's cartoon lane. This is where I like to
In
be.
that lane, though,
it.
there is something that you're going to help all of us with, no matter what grade the kids are in. You have 3 tips for us, so we brought you in to kind of walk us through
Yeah.
this. You want to go for the first tip?
Yeah, so the first thing that we talked about was the homework hour. When your kids are younger, it's really not an hour. It's like 15 minutes or so. But you want to make sure that you have some consistency there. And so you want to either, now as moms, you know your kids better than anyone.
Yeah.
So you know if your kid needs to stop, have a mental break first, get a snack, and then get into homework maybe later in the evening, or if they need to just knock it out right away. So.
Right.
I have a question about this
It
already.
depends. Yeah, it definitely depends on personality. So what's your
Yeah.
question?
So with kindergarten, a lot of times it's not the every night homework that your kids are going to have right
Right.
now. But I was talking to Patrice today and I said, my daughter has a couple of assignments that are like, this is due next week or this is due in 2 weeks. So finding the time to remember to do that before the due date. Do you have any tips on remembering that assignment?
Well, I would
Write it
say,
down.
you know,
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
you want to put the ownership and responsibility on your children early on, right? To
Oh,
take
that's
ownership
true.
of their learning. So
But
you
what
could
if they don't
say-
do it?
Well, you could say to your daughter, "Hey, you have this assignment coming up. You know, when would you like to do it? And can you remind mommy when it's time?" And then she has a little bit of responsibility there, and so you can, you know, find time to do it then.
That's good. I think that's big because that's then
That is good.
you're starting early to set the precedent that this is your responsibility.
Yes.
Because I can think of many a time through growing up, you know, my mom wants the best for all of us, and so she was very hands-on with everything. And I'm not for me, but for my sisters.
Oh, you're dissing your sisters again.
She let them slack, and she picked up the slack. For
Yeah.
them. No, I'm
But
not
not
gonna
for
say that. No, of course, I was always on top of my things. But that's a good point to say that, you know, you're responsible for this, so you got to get it done. So, you know, years down the line, we're
Yeah.
not the ones up in the middle of the night doing the science fair project.
And then each kid is different. So my 17-year-old, she likes to really take that huge mental break after school.
Yeah.
She wants to sit in front of the TV, forget all that has happened, and then she prefers to do her homework like around 8 before bedtime.
And that's
But my
okay.
son is like, I don't like anything hanging over my head. Like, I want to
Right.
get this done now, and then I can have the rest of my evening to do everything
So we need
I
to
want.
let them
I'm with
pick
it.
what works
Yeah,
best
kinda
for
like
them
just
and
know your
not.
kids,
Right.
yeah.
And it's hard because I think you and I are similar. We're like your son, I think, that we want to get it done. But
I
you
would
have to
be that
know
way,
who
yeah.
the kid is and
Yeah.
what they work best with.
Yeah.
It was, and yeah,
Huh.
it's all just personal preference, I guess, because to me, I think things in motion stay in motion. So if I'm already working, let me just keep
Right.
doing it, because
Right.
if I stop, it's hard to gear back up sometimes.
And everybody's
but-
not that way,
Right.
you know? I mean, I'm like you.
My
I'm an
sister's
achiever.
like your older one. My sister waited to the last minute and always did great, but she would wait and then
They just need that sometimes. They're exhausted, you know, and they're just kind of like, I need this time.
Okay.
So what does Maddie do when she comes home from school?
She's
now? 'Cause
like
the
us.
first thing,
She wants to do it immediately. We open the backpack because they have the folders, right? And you're supposed to look in the folder of what you're supposed to do each day and what you know, there's papers that need signed. So we do that right away when she brings her backpack in.
Okay.
And then we'll say, like, she had a me bag that she had to do, and you had to get 5 things that you wanted to put in the bag. So we sat down together and wrote down what they were and then said, we'll gather them later, but let's know what we're going to do. We had a plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work.
See, I love
throughout.
that. I love that early on she's showing you who she is.
And that's,
you know?
she likes that. I don't know that my younger one will be that way. I think she likes to, you know,
kind of
relax.
take a breather. Yeah, beforehand.
we haven't had the homework yet, so we'll see. So when Naomi gets home, the first thing we do is she sits down and she has a snack because she's hungry. She's still adjusting to the changes in how I guess she eats there, but she has a snack, and then I go through her book bag, and then we talk about her day. So we have that moment, and then and some days she says, you know, oh, I'm ready to play now, and then some days she's like, no, I just want to relax, Mommy. And so
that's a good question then.
Yeah.
Is it okay if it depends, or do you have to keep that consistency in order to get it done?
Well, I think consistency is important. So if your daughter is typically needing that mental break first, I think it would still be good to set like a consistent time frame.
Right.
If not a time frame, maybe a place in the house where there's some other areas that you can have some consistency in. So maybe there's a particular place in the house.
That's a good idea,
where she might like to do her homework. But yeah, again, you can allow the kids to take ownership as long as they get it done, because you don't want to have a situation where they're like, I'll do it, and then it's bedtime.
So speaking of the ownership, that leads into one of the other things that you that we were talking with you about before we came on, and that is the goal setting for kids. And that feels broad to me, goal setting for kids. Important, but very broad. So when you talk about goal setting, what do you mean?
So I think it can be both academic and just personal. You know, maybe they want to be the student of the week that week.
Okay.
You know, what would it take for them to do that? They can, you know, the teacher is usually very explicit about, you know, you have to behave and you have to like listen to instructions and, you know, those kinds of things. So maybe it's just that they want to set a goal that they want to be student of the week. But then more academically, you know, maybe they want to move in terms of their reading level. And so there are different things. It just depends, again, on the child and what they value.
Here's a question, too. Do you reward them then if they get it? Like,
Absolutely.
I would think for our daughters, we get the, you know, the coins or like, the, you know, they get the little things to see if they did good or not.
And that's big.
Yeah.
Do we reward them on top, or is it, as a parent, should we not be giving them stuff for doing what's expected?
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm big on rewards.
Okay.
I feel like with negative behavior, there are consequences, and so with positive behavior, I'm good with rewards.
Okay.
I don't think for the simple things there should be rewards, like
brushing your teeth.
Yeah, you woke up today. It was time for you to go to school. Like, you may not get reward for that, but you know, you set a goal to be student of the week and you did it. Mommy's so proud of you.
Right.
You know, like where would you like to go out to eat or
And
something?
that incentivizes them. I've noticed that we had a chore chart for a quick minute with Naomi maybe a year ago, and we kind of fell off of that because I feel like, you know, we needed a second job to get all the things that she was being rewarded for. So we kind of fell off of that. We could have shifted to differently, but it just kind of fell off. But since she's been back in school, the tokens that they get in school, that is a big deal for her. She comes home every day, Mommy, I got 13 tokens. Mommy.
Wow.
Like, so she's really excited about that. And the things that help her get the tokens at school, she is now trying to exhibit those at home too, because they have a thing, you know, where you can fill your bucket, your kindness bucket, your goodness bucket, or you can be a bucket disruptor, you know, turn it over. So she does things at home now, and she'll say, Mommy, I just filled the bucket, you know, because she did something that was kind, or she helped with something.
How sweet.
And so now she wants to do her chore chart again, because she wants that, I guess, same kind of reward system again at home. So I think the rewards help. And so she's made her own goal. She wrote on the chore chart what her goal was, which I was also impressed because she almost spelled it correctly too. She wrote out video games.
I love
We were I was more impressed about that than
Right.
But so I can see incentivizing. Now she'll want that at the end of the week, and I'm saying, baby girl, you need to talk to Santa about that. Because that's a big one.
It's good for me to hear that that's what you're supposed to be doing. We are more the tough love. We do a chore chart, and one of them, I remember when we first started, it was you have to feed the dogs, and my daughter said, why do we have to do it every day? And we're like, so they live.
You eat every day.
So we have not done any reward other than you make your bed because you live in this house.
Right.
You clean the table because you're a member of the family. You feed the dog because we love them.
Yeah.
But I think
But
that's house stuff. But I think the school stuff, they do work hard. So it would be nice to have, if you have a goal and you achieve it, that you should be rewarded for that. I can see that.
Yeah, and my family, my husband and I have kind of done both of what you've done at different points in our lives. So initially we started the kids doing chores, and it was just like, you have to do them because you live here. And then we decided, we really want them to see that hard work equals something. Even as they, grow up and become more in the professional
And a
world.
live dog isn't enough.
Right. So we're like, at some point you're going to get a job, and like you want to work hard and you're going to make good money.
Right.
And so we ended up starting to add allowances basically to the chores. And so the reality is you have to do them no matter what. But we're showing you that we're going to give you a reward because you've earned this. And we want to show them.
Both.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the way you're talking about it, these are and kids I think need to be taught that too. You do these things because this is what's required. This is life, and this is how it works. But maybe if you do something above and beyond, that's when the reward system comes in, as opposed to these are things we do because this is how life works.
Yeah.
So then there could be something else for them to work toward, and then it becomes up to them to decide. Do I want to work for that? Am I willing to do that? And that's another lesson in there.
Yeah.
Oh, so how do we make sure that they do those goals? Can we, help in any way to make sure that they set these goals and then,
I think, you want to sit down with them and set them. That's the first thing you'll want to do. And then just do some check-ins with them and find out, I know that your goal is to be student of the week or student of the month. What have you done to make progress towards that goal?
I think it's good in life, just as
Yes.
adults in our life, to think about what is your goal here.
And to be purposeful, intentional about setting the goal. Because I think we probably all do it with the kids casually. Well, so what do you want to do? But to be purposeful and have a real meaningful conversation about it weekly or monthly, or to see and do progress tracks that, how you're checking in and measuring up to what you've set as a goal.
And you can always bring it back to, maybe they have a bad day at school and they're not getting tokens. You can remind them, well, the goal you set was to be student of the month. Is this helping you achieve your goal? Is this not helping you towards your goal? And so I think,
how is it for teenagers? Does it work as well when they get a little older too?
Oh my goodness,
Hey, you want the car?
Yeah, exactly.
You want these skis?
So it's so interesting. So with teenagers, we have our kids set percentage goals. What do you want to make in each class? Per semester, and typically our kids want to do 85% and above or 90% and above, and so it's helpful. It's more like at that point it's not a reward system, because it's more so like you're doing this for your SAT scores. You're doing this for your own life.
For a bigger goal.
I'm happy and good. Like you need to do this for your own life and to get a good job. And so I think they are invested in their own goals. And so when they get an assignment back that's maybe not what they were expecting, or it's a lower grade than they were expecting, they're reminded because they're invested in their own goals that they've set for themselves. And so we've seen it work wonders.
Because you're teaching so many good lessons in there. Because what you were saying just now, we don't always win. We fail at these things sometimes. So you've got to recognize that that's going to happen, and then, okay, well, now how do I brush myself off and keep going toward the goal that I set? How much does it mean to me to do that? And is what I'm doing getting me closer to my goal? I think that's a good mindset for adults.
Yes.
But I think if we can start to instill that in our children earlier, so that they can recognize, okay, is this getting me toward what I want? And just, always have that in back of mind, so that they can begin to think in that way. That's really good.
And talking about it, not only do you have it become a reality because you're saying it out loud, but also there's the team. And I feel like maybe even more as a teenager, your parents are a part of your life because they're in it with you. They know your goals and they're with you instead of feeling maybe more distant as they grow older. Do you feel that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So our son has high hopes to do MIT or UMBC or something, and so we have to be invested in a goal like that, because it's like, we got to get college consultants in here.
How are you feeling? Do you feel good?
I feel proud. I feel so proud. You know that he's setting those kinds of goals, and it feels good.
We're going to get there.
We are going to get there. This was a great segment. I love this because now, it just gives you more ways to be intentional with your children, but not overbearing, because our kids are young. So, I mean, you have to approach it in a certain way. But I think there's probably no age that's too young to begin to set that framework of how you want them to consider life. And
I think that's a really important point, too, is that with kids so young, play is so important. Like, it's just not, it's not good to be so hard on them so early. So I think that's a really good point you brought up, is that they're in a different place than my teenagers are, who are looking at college. And so goal setting, like, you can be kind of loose with it. It's just a little bit of a different age. I think that's important to mention too.
I like it. Well, what was the third one? We did goal setting. We did routine.
So the other one was getting organized, and we were really just talking about
a whole podcast on its own. Come on now.
We were really just talking about how those mornings are so busy. And I don't know if you all feel this, but I know I do with my teenagers, because of course they set their alarm 15 minutes before they're supposed to actually leave the house. And so it has to be so quick getting them out the door. And so
that would stress me out.
Exactly.
That would be stressful.
But this is again,
in their clothes.
This is again part of that ownership. It's like, I'm not waking you up. Like, I'm not waking you up anymore. You're not 5, So like, you got to set your own alarm. And so they're rushing around, and it's kind of like making sure that they have breakfast. And I think we talked about the breakfast bin. They know they can.
You got to tell this idea.
So I have a breakfast bin for my teenagers, where they can pick from granola bars, cereal bars, oatmeal. Let's be real, they're not going to make bacon and eggs, you know? So there are these things that they can kind of pick from quickly to take to school with them, so that on the way to the bus, they're eating something and they have breakfast, because we know that's important. I have them pick out their clothes the day before, because that's important. If you're getting up 15 minutes before your bus gets there,
something you need to even exert mental energy on.
We do that. I set my outfit out the night before.
Yeah. So you guys get up early. I mean, what time do you guys get up to get here?
Well, the alarm goes off at 1:30. I'm up. I hit snooze somewhere between 1:30 and 2. I'm up.
Wow. I get up at 2:05.
Wow. And you don't even hit snooze. You just get up.
Because otherwise I lay there and I'm like, I'm going to be late. 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 And so I just have to get up.
No.
Yeah. So see, that's important even for adults. You know, it's like, why spend mental energy on that when you can just get out the door? So I think that's important too, is for parents to be organized.
I like the breakfast bin idea, because that makes it easier. Another thing that you just know exactly where to go. You take it and keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You feel that? You were good. We're going to have to bring you back on.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, moms. Well, tell us about your routines. Tell us about goal setting for your kids, and tell us about the topics that you want to talk about. There's so many things out there that can be discussed. Yeah. Megan and I we walk around here, and we're sitting at the desk, and every once in a while we're looking like, that would be a topic.
Everything.
I mean, so many things come up.
Yeah.
So
you talked to moms recently who had about 1 million questions. So there's more to come here.
It would be good to talk about that.
We want to talk about, Megan and I were talking about today, coming in one of the coming episodes. So send us your thoughts about this. We want to know about sleepovers.
Do you allow your kids to do it? At what age do you interrogate the house that they're going to?
Yeah,
because
there's
a thing.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah,
my husband is a cop, so that is very
no, because the cops will tell you
there's so many unfortunate
a lot of things happen.
To go and have fun too. So we'll save this for our next podcast.
Yeah, this would be good. This would be good.
Weigh in if you have a question.
All right, so if you want to send us an email, you can go to tvnewsmoms@foxbaltimore.com. You can also reach Megan and I on each of our social media.
Have a good week.